Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Alright guys, so these are my 10 autistic traits. These are not all of the traits that I have. For this video it's just these 10 because I'm going to make this into a series since I have a lot more to list. But anyway, before we get started into this 10 autistic traits list that I've created, I want to make a disclaimer that my experience is different than others, and if you do not have all of these traits or you don't share some of these traits, do not worry. That does not mean that you're not on the spectrum. That just means that we're all different. And also, another part of this disclaimer is I also have severe alexithymia, which alexithymia is just a term meaning that I struggle with communicating and identifying my feelings and emotions. So I have a hard time telling you what I'm feeling or even understanding what I'm feeling. I don't know if I'm happy or sad or excited. So that plays a huge role into some of my traits, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. All right, trait number 1 is problems with communicating. So my problems with communication come across with I struggle to express with words how I'm feeling or what is going on in a situation on the inside. And I just feel like there's a wall that's just blocking the ability to get out those words. So that's pretty much what that means for me. So moving quickly on to trait number 2, considering that was like super short. Trait number 2 is special interest. Now, I've always had a special interest. For 13 years, that special interest was video editing. That's all I ever wanted to do for 24/7. Came home from school. That's the first thing that I wanted to do was jump on my computer and do video editing for the rest of the night till I had to go to bed. And then after that was over, my special interest became researching autism. So that has been my special interest for the past 5 years. And by special interest, if you don't know what it means, it's basically like an intense interest in a topic. So it's not just a hobby or something that you like to do. It's like your entire life, and like that's only and always what you want to do. So it's a very intense interest. Trait number 3, if it looks like I'm reading, I am. I wrote them down. Making and maintaining friendships. So for me, making and maintaining friendships, I can talk to people now a lot easier than I used to, but making friends is not an easy thing for me. The issue that I have with making friends really is going up to the person and talking to them. I don't normally talk to people unless they talk to me first, especially like new person, totally brand new, don't know them at all. I will not go up to them. I wait for them to come to me. And that's always been something I've done, but doesn't really help in the making friends. Keeping the friendship for me is a struggle because once they stop talking or like they're not carrying a conversation, I don't know how to continue the conversation. So if I start talking to you and then you just stop talking, that's it. Like conversation over, dead, friendship probably gone. I don't even know. They tend to just end and never return for me. And that's just been an issue my entire life. So moving on to number 4 for me has always been empathy. It is a common misconception that people who are autistic have no empathy. It was shown in my assessments for my diagnosis that my emotional empathy was above average. So I feel empathy much higher than even the average person, neurotypical people. But cognitive empathy, which means that you understand, you're able to put yourself in their shoes and totally just take their perspective of why they're feeling that way, was definitely in the autistic range, meaning that it's very minimal and I just am not able to take on your perspective in a situation. So the way that I literally appear when I'm, someone's crying in front of me or they're really going through something or upset or describing the situation is I'm literally standing there just kind of looking at them blankly, like there's no, totally neutral, no facial expression, no like showing any kind of I'm so sorry or anything like that. And that started when I was a little kid all the way up. I still do it. So it appears that I have no empathy, but that is not the case. Number 5 is appearing quiet or shy. This was more me as a kid. I always was told, oh, she's shy or she's super quiet. Now I've come more out as an adult, a little bit more to like talking to people more, but I still can appear quiet or shy, just from not talking to you. Like my first job, I didn't talk for the first 3 months that I worked there. I had coworkers asking if I could speak. That's how notification, really get out of my view shot. Notifications. Okay, sorry. ADHD. So, yeah, that was something that occurred when I first started working, was I didn't speak for the first 3 months. Number 6 trait, interrupting people. Now, I have both ADHD and autism, so this can be both. This is an issue with both of those diagnoses. The difference is the reason behind it. So for me, interrupting people, do I do it because I need to remember what I'm going to say? If I don't just like impulsively interrupt you, then I'm going to forget it. Yes, I do that because of ADHD. But the other reason I do it too is because I'm not sure when I'm supposed to interject, when I'm supposed to go ahead and insert myself into this conversation. So if you're talking and you pause, I'm thinking that, oh, you paused, so it's time for me to jump in. A lot of times, though, I have gotten yelled at by either my parents or somebody, like, hey, I wasn't done with my conversation, or I wasn't done giving you all the info. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I thought you were done because you paused. I've even had trouble with it at work. I've had somebody, not even a coworker, somebody completely opposite of me that was doing the same job, get on to me about cutting into their conversation between him and a manager. And it was because I thought they were finished. So apparently I'm not good at that. But yeah, the reason behind it, autism, is because you don't know when to put yourself in. ADHD is because of impulse, and you just don't want to forget what you're saying. All right, number 7, being literal. Now, this is something that I have been doing since I was little. Some examples of my childhood are when my mom would laugh at something, because apparently I was cute. She would laugh and say, oh, honey, we're not laughing at you, we're laughing with you. And I would say, but I'm not laughing. Now, that's something that I've always known, but I did not know that that was just being literal. So another thing that has carried into my adult life, being literal. I do know some like sayings and things, like Southern sayings and things, because I was raised by my mom, which my grandma was from Kentucky. So I know some sayings, I know some idioms, I know some things like that, partially because my mom explained them to me growing up. If I heard something and I didn't know what it meant, I would ask her, what does that mean? So I'm still a literal thinker. It's just a matter of I understand some things because I was explained because I was told earlier on in my life what those things meant. Number 8 is a flat affect. Now, I never thought this occurred to me, or I never thought that this actually like was something that I dealt with, because to me, when I hear myself talk, I always felt that I was, I don't have that robotic tone. I don't have that kind of flatness to my voice that some autistic people have. So I thought I don't sound like that at all. Well, it wasn't until I got my diagnosis that the person that diagnosed me said that I have a flatter affect. She didn't say I have a flat affect. I have a flatter affect than neurotypicals. So that's one of the things she noticed within 10 minutes of talking to me. And then number 9 is minimal facial expressions. Again, this was another thing brought up in my diagnostic interview, that the psychologist shared with me that I show very minimal, she actually said severely limited facial expressions. I have never thought of that before. I've never looked into it before, didn't even know that I did that. I've seen myself talk, like I talk in the mirror before, just like, talking, and I've never thought about, oh wow, you need to move your eyebrows more, or you need to move your eyes more, do more with your face. That has never been a thing until that moment. And then the last one, number 10, understanding body language. So again, I understand a little bit of body language. Some of it has come from my mom explaining to me that certain body language shows that you feel a certain way or that you think about something a certain way. So it's confusing to me, considering the fact that I only know like 2 or 3, so I don't know how my body is reacting to people when I'm talking to them. Neurotypicals, this is the reason that I struggle in conversation, is my brain is thinking, I need to look at them. I need to put my arms at my side or like do something with my hands because I don't know how I'm supposed to be in order to not offend you with my body language, because the nonverbal communication. It is it's exhausting is what it is. So when I met my first autistic friend, it was the best conversation that I'd had in my entire life, because we interrupted each other, we talked over each other, we just shared all the special interest stuff we wanted to share, and I never had a thought in my mind that I need to look at her, that I need to stand a certain way, or that I need to talk a certain way. That will be in another video, the tone of voice thing. So anyway, understanding body language, number 10, that was my 10 autistic traits for this video. I will have probably another 2 or 3 videos on just my traits because I have a lot more than these. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video or if you thought any of these resonated with you and you could relate to them, please leave a comment on the video, letting me know some of the areas that you struggle with, if you have any. And anyone can really comment, but I would like to hear from autistics or even undiagnosed autistics about this topic and how you feel about it. So anyway, guys, I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, and you want to see more videos coming up about autism or ADHD, I'll start on those too. Then go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.